Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the hypocrisy within Maga ranks and a pattern of pedophilia allegations among anti-LGBTQ plus advocates. This is going to be a series, as daily we get new reports of Maga individuals being accused of pedophilia, sex trafficking, prostitutes, pornography, like you name it. I see it come across basically on every platform. And there is so much going on in this world. And sometimes I don't even know where to begin. But I do know that politically, and I am not a political person, but politically, there is one side that tends to be more anti everything at this moment. So that is what I am focusing on. The political landscape of recent years has been marked by intense rhetoric from Maga aligned politicians and supporters concerning child protection, particularly in relation to LGBTQ plus individuals. However, a significant number of these vocal advocates have themselves faced serious criminal charges involving sexual misconduct with minors, revealing a stark hypocrisy within their movement. Documented cases of Maga supporters charged with child sexual exploitation. Several prominent Maga supporters have been arrested on charges related to child sexual abuse and exploitation. These cases demonstrate a concerning pattern where individuals publicly condemning LGBTQ plus communities as groomers have been engaged in the very behaviors that they claim to oppose. Now, these names that I am listing, I am not doing this as a call to violence. I'm not doing this so that you can go and stalk their residence or get them fired if they're not in jail or anything. I'm simply calling out names that have been named and different, sometimes ongoing documentation within court systems. Some have been accused, some have been charged, some have been sentenced. There is a wide variety of things that they have been charged with. So keep that in mind. You can look up their names and find out their exact charges, because this is just the basics. This is not anything that is in depth on any certain person. And as always, they are not guilty until they have been through a court of law. They are innocent until proven guilty. But with that said, accusations carry a lot of weight in this type of crime. Justin Eichhorn, a Republican state lawmaker from Minnesota, authored legislation that would require genital examinations of student athletes to verify their female sex if disputes arose regarding their participation in sports. Despite his public stance on protecting children from what he portrayed as LGBTQ plus threats, Eichhorn was arrested on March 18, 2024, during an undercover sting operation targeting commercial sex involving juveniles. He faced charges for allegedly soliciting a minor for prostitution and subsequently resigned after his caucus threatened to expel him. Joshua Radcliffe, a former youth group director who performed at the Conservative Political Action Conference (CPAC) in 2019, was a known supporter of Donald Trump's Maga movement. Radcliffe appeared in court in March 2025, where the judge added 9 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct and 21 counts of child sexually abusive activity after several young men testified against him. In total, Radcliffe faces 60 charges stemming from an investigation by the Michigan State Police that found evidence he solicited child sexually abusive material from minors, with victims ranging from 12 to 17 years old. The investigation began on October 2, 2024, and the charges stem from incidents as early as 2014. Garrett Ziegler, a former Trump White House aide who founded the conservative group Marco Polo, has been accused of harassing and stalking multiple women, though these allegations primarily relate to adult victims rather than minors. Andrew Tweety Bird Ferreira, a neo-Nazi activist who participated in actions by the Nationalist Social Club 131, a group known for disrupting drag queen story hours and calling queens pedo scum, was arrested on child pornography charges. Police seized several electronic devices from his home that contained sexually explicit images of children. Ferreira, a former corporal in the Marine Corps Reserve, had been involved with racist groups like Identity Europa and promoted white supremacy while protesting against drag events. Wynne, spelled Winne, maybe Winnie, not exactly sure. Another Maga influencer has been accused of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old and facilitating an illegal sex work operation across multiple U.S. cities. He was first arrested in November and pleaded not guilty. The Maga movement has consistently portrayed LGBTQ plus individuals, particularly transgender people and drag queens, as threats to children's safety. Republican politicians and conservative Christian pastors have invested significant energy and political capital in attempts to criminalize drag performances, roll back LGBTQ plus rights, and villainize the queer community. This rhetoric frequently labels drag queens, trans women, and gay people as groomers and sexual deviants who shouldn't be allowed near children. However, as the documented cases demonstrate, those making such accusations have often been engaged in or accused of the very behaviors they attribute to others. This pattern of hypocrisy extends beyond individual cases to represent a systemic issue within the movement's leadership and prominent supporters. Despite persistent attempts by Maga supporters to link pedophilia and child exploitation to LGBTQ plus communities, particularly transgender individuals and drag queens. The documented cases of MAGA supporters arrested on such charges reveal a different reality. None of the high profile cases involving MAGA politicians, influencers, or supporters charged with child sexual abuse or exploitation have involved individuals who identified as transgender or drag queens. This fact stands in stark contrast to the rhetoric employed by many of the MAGA movement. In city after city, MAGA extremists and groups like the Proud Boys have waged campaigns on intimidation against all ages. Events like drag brunches and story hours, showing up at child friendly events to shout slurs and violent threats. Prominent figures including Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump Jr., Josh Hawley, and Marjorie Taylor Greene have frequently referenced pedophilia in relation to LGBTQ plus communities on television and in social media. The discrepancy between MAGA rhetoric and reality regarding child exploitation cases highlights how concerns about child protection have been politically weaponized. GOP officials across the country have used state governments to implement policies that punish teachers and parents for protecting, supporting, and educating students regarding gender identity and orientation. Florida has even stripped the teaching license of some educators who mention gender in class. This political strategy relies on creating moral panic around LGBTQ plus individuals while ignoring or downplaying actual cases of child exploitation within their own ranks. The pattern of MAGA supporters being charged with the very crimes they attribute to others suggests that these accusations may function more as political tools than genuine expressions of concern for children's welfare. The documented cases of MAGA supporters arrested on charges related to child sexual abuse and exploitation reveal a significant hypocrisy within the movement. While MAGA politicians and influencers have invested substantial resources in portraying LGBTQ plus communities as threats to children, numerous cases have emerged of their own supporters and leaders engaging in or being accused of such behavior themselves. The absence of transgender or drag queen perpetrators among these cases further undermines the narrative promoted by many of the MAGA movement. This pattern suggests that concerns about child exploitation have been politicized and weaponized against marginalized communities rather than representing a genuine commitment to protecting children from actual threats. As the cases continue to emerge, they highlight the importance of examining the actions of those who make the loudest accusations, particularly when those accusations are used to justify policies that harm vulnerable communities. The discrepancy between MAGA rhetoric and reality regarding child exploitation cases serves as a reminder that moral panic often distracts from addressing actual threats to children's safety and well being. I will be doing more videos in this series and calling out more people. It is nothing political, even though it is political. Like, I don't care where you come from, what religion you are, how you vote, the color of your skin, where you work. If you're a pedophile, the public needs to know it. Plain and simple. Have a great day, everybody.